A Very Royal Narcissist, Part 8. This material was originally written on the 10th of January 2020, but is being provided to enable you to understand historic events with regard to this ongoing saga, with reference to a narcissist in action. Furthermore, it provides you with an update of the series, moving towards the addition of further episodes so it all makes sense, and that you can see the whole saga unfolding through the prism of narcissism. The occurrence, which has been dubbed Megxit, is the gift that keeps on giving in respect of providing further examples of a narcissist in action. Number 1. Where's Archie? You know Archie. He is the son of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. However, bit player as he is, as a non-intimate secondary source to Miss Markle, and since he's only 8 months old, he can be placed on the shelf with a nanny, whilst the Sussexes return to the United Kingdom to make their announcement. Doubtless, arguments would be made that he was better off remaining in Canada than being ping-ponged over the Atlantic Ocean, and that is the plausible deniability that would be utilised where criticism is directed at Miss Markle for such a decision. However, this act of leaving her son in Canada is instructive when looking at the behaviour through the prism of her narcissism. It is important to remember that an isolated act, whilst a red flag, does not mean that the individual is a narcissist. One must look at an aggregate of factors, which is what I have done, before making such a determination, and this is what has occurred with regard to Miss Markle. A detailed analysis was undertaken before reaching the decision that she is one, and then thereafter, events have been looked at through that prism. What this means is that all behaviour thereafter following this analysis can be viewed through the prism of narcissism to interpret it. A normal person and a narcissist do not always act the same, but there are some behaviours which will be undertaken by both individuals. But the rationale and driving force, the basis for the behaviour, will be entirely different. This is because for the narcissist, their behaviour is driven by the need for control and fuel as part of the prime aims. Accordingly, by analysing Miss Markle's behaviour and leaving Archie in Canada through the prism of her narcissism, what do we learn? A lack of emotional empathy. She has none, and is unconcerned by her son being left for a period of time away from her. Control. She instinctively feels that she has control over him as he is a baby and therefore incapable at this very young age of rejecting her control. Thus she can place him on the shelf, which is what narcissists do with secondary sources, friends, family, colleagues, intimate secondary sources, such as a mistress or a friend with benefits. She exhibits a sense of entitlement in taking such action. She is triangulating Prince Harry and thus controlling him. By leaving Archie in Canada, Miss Markle triangulates him with his father, so that there is a clear basis for ensuring that Prince Harry returns to Canada, and that Miss Markle's control over Prince Harry remains intact. There is a risk that if Miss Markle had returned to Canada alone, leaving Harry in the United Kingdom to address the fallout of the bomb that has been dropped, more on this in a moment, Harry might be influenced by the combined forces of the royal family to reconsider this plan stepping back, and thus Miss Markle's control over him would be weakened. By leaving Archie in Canada, Miss Markle's narcissism achieves two things. Plausible deniability. It wasn't fair to fly Archie back and forth, when in reality this is just the narcissist's cognitive empathy at work. She has no emotional empathy for Archie, and does not care about him. And secondly, it is a method of maintaining control over Prince Harry by signalling to him, if you want to see your son again, you will have to leave the UK, and therefore escape the interfering influences of the royal family. Number 2, dropping the bomb. This is a common behaviour performed by the narcissist, and is a manipulation designed to assert control over the various appliances, people, in the narcissist's fuel matrix. See the video also, dropping the bomb. Several insights can be gained from this. There was no consultation for the stepping back announcement, and thus, as I explained in part 7 of a very royal narcissist, this demonstrates various aspects of the narcissist dynamic, and the lack of consultation is part of the dropping the bomb manipulation. Having dropped the bomb, Miss Markle then exits. Job done. No hanging around to deal with the aftermath or the consequences, which demonstrates a sense of entitlement and a lack of accountability. Prince Harry is left behind to deal with the aftermath, which shows a lack of emotional empathy for him in having to deal with the upset, the bewildered and angry members of his family. A sense of entitlement. Basically, I do what I want, and if I want to throw you to the lions, so be it. And lack of accountability. I answer to nobody, not even my husband. It is a haughty behaviour, showing disrespect to the royal family. Yes, I've told you what we are doing. No, I'm not staying to explain myself to the likes of you, Toodle Pip. It's a manifestation of control. Number 3. What birthday? The 9th of January was the Duchess of Cambridge's birthday, and this would ordinarily merit celebration and a degree of media attention. This attention, which is fuel when received by a narcissist, is deemed to be wasted when it goes to somebody else other than the narcissist, and the narcissist's inherent trait of envy or jealousy will come to the fore. The narcissist unconsciously feels that their control is being threatened, and therefore has to respond. The stepping back announcement was made on the eve of Kate's birthday. Of course, the Sussexes would claim that this was purely coincidence, plausible deniability, and if one was dealing with a non-narcissist, that would be the case. But because we know that we are dealing with a narcissist, one looks at that behaviour through the prism of the response of a narcissist, so that coincidence isn't the real reason. Instead, this act demonstrates overshadowing, by doing something to take attention away from another person and place it firmly on the narcissist. Thus, the fuel that would have been provided to the non-narcissist, although they don't need it, is acquired by the narcissist. As you know, fuel is our lifeblood. Control. The threat to the control is reduced or extinguished. Lack of emotional empathy. Miss Markle doesn't care about Kate's birthday and will readily dismiss it through the exhibited behaviour. Sense of entitlement. I do as I see fit, when I see fit, in whatever manner I see fit, regardless of the impact on anybody else. This overshadowing behaviour is a frequent behaviour of Meghan Markle, and is something that will be returned to in future episodes of this series. Number 4. Working for a solution. It has been reported that following the stepping back announcement, the Queen mobilised by organising discussions with the Prince of Wales and the Duke of Cambridge in order to direct senior staff to work with the Sussex household and government to find a solution within days. Good luck with that. Miss Markle has exited already, therefore making it difficult to achieve a solution. This demonstrates her lack of accountability, sense of entitlement, the necessity of control, and a lack of emotional empathy. Prince Harry finds himself caught between his family and his wife. How many of you listening understand what it is to be caught in the grip of romantic ensnarement, have found yourself in such an invidious position? How many of you have found yourself agreeing with your family, but having to do what your narcissist spouse or partner wanted in order to avoid further devaluing behaviour from the narcissist? Plenty of you, of course. By leaving Prince Harry in such a torn situation, this means that the prospect of a solution becomes limited, and, coupled with the earlier point, means it's far more likely that Miss Markle gets her way and maintains control. In the less likely event that some kind of solution is found, it will be one which suits Miss Markle, because her narcissism has created this imbalance of power, and when a solution is found, it is only because that is what the narcissist wants. It is not because you forced the narcissist to do it, or persuaded the narcissist, or somehow appealed to the narcissist's better nature. We don't have them. The narcissist's need for control is such that you cannot guarantee making the narcissist doing anything, and where you do amazingly achieve a compromise or solution through negotiation, well, you've actually just been duped again. It was achieved because that is what the narcissist wanted, therefore that is why it was achieved. The royal family are sent into overdrive, responding to the pronouncement of the Sussexes, actually Miss Markle's announcement, and she will derive a sense of control, and the tail wagging the dog, because she is able to assert control the mainstay of the Narcissist existence, over the various members of the royal family. 5. Oh, Canada. After returning in the UK after their 6-week break in Canada, last Tuesday in January, the BBC reported that Harry and Meghan visited Canada's High Commission in London to thank the country for hosting them, and said the warmth and hospitality they received was unbelievable. Former actress Meghan, who is American, lived and worked in Toronto during her time starring in the drama Suits, and she has several Canadian friends. What does this demonstrate? Facade management. I am a kind person, and my thanking the High Commission shows that I am kind, polite, and decent. All part of the facade management that the type of narcissist that Meghan Markle is, and thus deploys the facade management. Understand, some of you think, oh, she's a nice person, therefore she can't be a narcissist. Wrong. She has exhibited repeated behaviours of the narcissist, so with that established, any behaviour which is kind and which is pleasant must be viewed through the prism of her narcissism. Therefore, it is false cognitive empathy. For instance, I provide you with a wealth of information about how to handle narcissists, but I am a narcissistic psychopath. That doesn't make me a nice person. It means I am a narcissistic psychopath that does this for the purpose of getting what I want, the creation of a legacy, and just because that's useful to you is a consequence of the creation of my legacy. I would not do it just to help you. There's no such thing as an altruistic narcissist, and anybody who thinks that there is doesn't understand narcissism. The Oh Canada moment also demonstrates triangulation. Basically, Miss Markle is saying, are you paying attention, royal family, British media, the British people? See how lovely Canada is to me. Canada loves us, i.e. me. So I'm going to rub your faces in it by attending the Canadian High Commission to say thank you for allowing me to assert control over Canada. This is where we will now live. So what are you, Britain and its media and its people, going to do in response to this to allow me to control you? Grandiosity. An entire country loves us, i.e. me. Black and white thinking. You, the royal family, the British media, the British people, have been horrible to me and threatened my control of you, and therefore you are all painted black. I do not like you. Canada has been lovely to me, and therefore submitted to my control. Canada is painted white, and therefore everything about Canada is wonderful, fantastic, and amazing. Number 6. Less than charitable, but then again, more than charitable. The Sussexes, read Miss Markle, were already preparing to launch their own Sussex Royal Charity, which they set up after splitting from the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge's foundation in June of 2019. The Sussexes' new charity is expected to be global, linked to Africa and the United States rather than domestic, and will have a commitment to female empowerment. What does this tell us? Yet more evidence of the behaviour of the narcissist. Black and white thinking. I tried to control you, Kate and William, as non-intimate secondary sources, family, in my fuel matrix, but you just would not be controlled, so now I don't like you. You are painted black. Remember, this response is an unconscious one. So now, you are painted black, everything associated with you, lack of boundary recognition, is deemed to be horrible and awful, which includes your charity, so we're splitting from it. It evidences the need for control. I must have control. So I reject you because I am unable to control you. Triangulation. Look at our charity. It's better than yours. Provocation. I'm doing my own thing without you. How'd you like me now? Show me so that your irritation, annoyance, upset provide me with negative fuel and shows that I am controlling you in a different way. Grandiosity. Your charity is domestic. That's lame. My charity is global. Thus it's better and more befitting my status as a global titan. Magical thinking. I am a global icon. I am a beacon of female empowerment. I am the Princess Diana of the 21st century. Facade management. I have a charity. See, I am such an honest, kind, caring, and empathic person. Number 7. Fancy some tat? It was revealed in December 2019 that the couple had made an application to trademark their Sussex Royal brand across a string of items, including bucks, calendars, clothing, charitable fundraising, education and social care services. This action again provides insight with regard to the narcissistic mindset of Meghan Markle. Control. Where you read couple, read Miss Markle. Prince Harry nods when told to by Miss Markle. He is an intimate partner primary source who is in devaluation. She makes the decisions, and he abides by them. But they are touted as joint in order to maintain the facade of apparent harmony. Lack of awareness. This is a crass and tacky step, but the narcissism blinds Miss Markle to it, a little bit like her bananas of empowerment. Facade management. This will be touted as a step with regard to achieving the supposed financial independence as part of managing the facade and advancing plausible deniability. It is not. It is part of the facade because financial independence won't occur. Delusional thinking. I'm so loved that these items will sell like hotcakes. My clothing line will be a huge success. I am a person of style. So declares a person who apparently uses spray tan, hair extensions, and wears unsuitable clothing. Grandiosity. Social care and education provided under the Sussex brand because that is what really matters when delivering those services. Yes, I am the educator and I am the saviour. Grandiosity at work. Number 8. Financial independence. On my terms. It seems that this could actually be achieved because Harry has a multi-million-pound fortune as part of his inheritance from Diana, Princess of Wales. Miss Markle apparently has a multi-million-pound fortune as a woman of independent means. Therefore, they should be able to look after themselves. Plus, those Sussex-branded calendars and how to learn to be a global phenomenon education packs are bound to bring in the money, yes? Therefore, why is it then, as reported by the BBC, the couple said that the sovereign grant paid for 5% of their official office from 2019, with the remaining 95% being funded by Prince Charles through his income from the Duchy of Cornwall? Basically, Pater is paying. They will retain Frogmore Cottage, the Grade 2 listed property in Windsor that cost taxpayers £2.4 million to renovate, as their official residence so that they have a place to call home in the United Kingdom. This evidences further narcissistic behaviours, hypocrisy, sense of entitlement, lack of emotional empathy, poor boundary recognition, asset acquisition. What is yours is mine, what is mine stays mine. The saga of the Sussexes continues to provide an excellent guide to narcissism. For those of you who are familiar with my work, it demonstrates to you a host of narcissistic behaviours which you have experienced in your own ensnarements and from studying my work. For those of you who are new to my material, welcome, and you should now start to see how certain behaviours, which you may have not noticed or you may have frowned at, but not realise what they really are actually the behaviour of a narcissist. Utilise this saga as an opportunity to learn more about a disorder which is far more prevalent than you may think. Use it as an opportunity to ascertain how you may have been affected by narcissists in your life and do something about it. And finally recognise how so many commentators in the media completely fail to realise what it is, and offer explanations such as this. Bryony Gordon, a Daily Telegraph, a newspaper in Britain, she's a journalist there who knows and has interviewed the couple, suggests their decision could be linked to their mental health after becoming a punching bag for a misogynist and racist nation. There's no doubt that there's been racist behaviour towards Miss Markle, and that is unacceptable. But that isn't the reason for the decision. It'll be used as an excuse, but as this article and the several before it repeatedly demonstrate, this is a narcissist at work, and the decision is linked to the need for control and fuel. Perhaps you, listeners, will be instrumental in causing the commentators and media to realise what is actually happening here ahead of the inevitable update when we analyse the next behaviour of a very royal narcissist. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.